To 21 idea of population reduction. All well and well, hey, you got to do it somewhere or another, and that's one of their ways. So they opened Pandora's box, and all of a sudden, everything stopped. And they said, "Oh, wait a minute, that's not what we wanted to do. We just want to kill everybody." And it's going to get interesting. Started in China, and then spread worldwide. People are going back to shipping, and they're going to do this, and they're going to do that, the problem is they didn't realize the extent of the collateral damage. Now, collateral damage is when you blow something up and a big chunk of it falls on somebody you happen to like. That's not cool, and yet they didn't have the forethought and planning, something that's totally absent in a lot of places. Let alone anything called or anywhere near common sense. What has happened is that now you're beginning to see, after the virus got crazy stupid out there, all of a sudden now we have a problem, and the problem is rather large. People are wanting to collect on that insurance money they've been paying. That's first. Secondly, people are staying away from large crowds. They're not going to concerts, or I don't know if you've seen some of the vacant or whatever streets, but it's pretty heavy. Now, this is a semi-genetic targeting system. It's not fully genetic. They're not quite that good. Now, there was a sci-fi movie up to that extent, where certain people with certain genetics would be targeted by a deadly disease, and they got about 30 seconds to take their last breath. Oh God, or whatever it is. This is not quite this. They don't have the capability yet to be that specific. So we got a sort of a fun and games thing going on. There are types of people. You've heard of A, B, C, and all that. And this seems to be targeting the B people. Okay. Interesting part about it is that whenever one of these bioweapons is produced, the structure of producing such a thing is this. Fine, produce small amounts of it. Test it to make sure that it works the way it's supposed to. But, and this is the big glob of acid entity hanging out there, you never mass produce anything of that nature without an antigen. Now, that does not mean a vaccine. It means an antigen. That means something that kills it with no additives except clinically pure water to make it liquid, or keep it liquid, or spread it out a little bit. Basically, now that everybody's now got the basics. Anyway, they opened Pandora's box, and now, irrespective as to what they think or would like to see, even with the Fed dropping interest rates, people throwing money at it, it has decided to be the boss. And everybody knows that the asshole is the boss. If you haven't heard that old joke about the eyes and the brain and this and that and the other thing, saying, I'm the boss, I'm in charge. Finally, the asshole got thoroughly fed up and pissed off, and he closed up. Pretty soon the eyes was fuzzy and going cross-eyed. Guy couldn't speak and all this other thing, and they all bowed down to the asshole. Oh, please. Guess what? He opened up and everything was fine. Well, the deep state is not, everybody looks at it as being specifically an American problem. That's not the case. This thing is global. It has to be, or you would not have all the fun and games going on all over the planet. Very simple, it's not complicated. To complicate matters, the deep state Open Pandora's box. Oh my God. And Pandora's box turned around and bit him on the ass. Everything stopped. Chunk. Oh no, we can't have that. We got to have our moneymakers running. And within about, I think it was about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, all of a sudden, manufacturers going back, people are going back to the plants. Manufacturers and turning back on again. Shipping started back up. Then all of a sudden, they found that this virus is easily transmittable, meaning that if you contact a surface where somebody who had it has put their skinners all over it, you're liable to get it. At our present situation, the virus has decided to curtail things. Italy, the country, is shut down. Nobody is allowing immigrants. Greece using live ammunition in the military is shooting them. So they need to stay somewhere else. No, you can't come to Greece. That's just one example. Iran, reasons. All of the restrictions that have been placed on the country have really limited their capability on a medical basis to handle anything, let alone something like this. So it's eating up Iran. Now, that was supposedly one of the targets. So that's something for people to bear in mind. In terms of the economics of it, last time I looked, the Dow was over 900 points down. Again, well, the problem with this is that it don't seem to want to go away. They say, ooh, correction. Well, ooh, no, it doesn't work that way. Some of these things that are being negated in terms of value, in other words, losses on the Dow, etc., will become permanent. Now, I don't know how many and to what extent or exactly which area might be most affected. However, some of the genetics involved seem to have worked. Iranian people have a certain genetic makeup. Their country's being hit hard, and I mean hard. China has an abundance of what are known as B category people. A type, B type, C type, D type, and it goes all the way up to F. But the thing about it is that those people who are A type and have a certain percentage of good old-fashioned Cro-Magnon blood in them or genetics don't seem to be affected. They don't seem to bother. Period. If you take Neosporin, this is classic. Okay, Neosporin, put it around your nostrils. That's first. Wash your hands a lot. And thirdly, take that host defense. That stuff is amazing. Part of it. The political fun and games hit a high point today. Schumer had to back up. And I mean, he had to back up quick. He's threatened 2 of the sitting Supreme Court justices. The first thing that happened was that the president and attorney general had a little meeting. Can we nail his hide to the barn wall for that? And attorney general said, probably. And so, okay, we'll see what we could do, because that's, you don't do that. Threats against certain individuals, Supreme Court justices, judges, federal judges, etc., is felony. It's a felony level, the president or whatever. He said the way he said it, and he apologized for saying it in the manner in which he did. Okay, well, sorry, bud, but that treasonous act, which is a felony, is now a part of the public record, and anytime they feel like it, they can come get you for that. To include one particular witch that said, we need to hang Trump. That's a threat against the president of the United States. Same deal. Then you got the fun and games on the financials. Each and every last financial on the planet is going down. And I don't mean necessarily by small amounts. You're talking anywhere from 5 to 10 or 15%, depending on which one it is. HSBC is looking to go broke within the next week. They're that bad off. They got that many problems. Several of the banks, big banks around the world, Deutsche Bank is one of them, Bundesbank another. Let's see, I think it's 3 of the Federal Reserve banks. They're all looking at going belly up. Take the things I've been trying to express to people to start coming to pass. Now, in this process, you're going to have interruptions in goods and services. I don't think you're going to have the electricity and water and that sort of thing shut off. But there may be a problem with trash pickup, for one. There may be another problem if the police don't get paid, if you see where this is going, or firemen, or whatever. Citizens, everyday people, into the position of going and getting a fireman or policeman out of bed, and hey, look, you got business to attend to. Let's go. That'll be the first. The second thing will be a serious problem in political circles of who has the capability of playing games with the Constitution. And it don't matter what amendment or whatever, who has it. And like I've said over the past couple of weeks, Trump was looking at being able to withhold federal funds from sanctuary areas, be it a municipality, just a county or a state, doesn't seem to matter. Yes, the Supreme Court said you do have that right. So what you have is the idiots supposedly in charge, not understanding that when they became a state, they joined a federation of states that agreed to certain things. You cannot play games with federal law. You can't thumb your nose at it and say, "Man, I don't think so." Well, it doesn't work that way. Yes, you think so. Or secede. Nobody wants to do that. Pelosi trying to cover up the pile that the cat left. And then you got Sleepy Joe and Crazy Bernie for candidates. Now, what's happened, and the worm turned Tuesday. Super Tuesday was the advent of the change away from Bernie, period. Now, he got screwed real hard when he was running against Hillary. And this time they're doing it a little bit differently. Same deal. Bernie won't have good luck the rest of the season in terms of garnering the support necessary for him to be a true, honest-to-God candidate. So that leaves Biden. Biden gets lost in his own driveway. So what's being pushed hard is the Ukrainian problem in terms of their corruption. And I'm talking about Biden Sr. and Jr. That does not bode well for what happens to a presidential candidate when they get to do some time during the presidential candidacy in federal prison. This is a part of, and some of what some people think probably would be sort of obvious, but not necessarily well known. That's why I'm covering some of it. A lot of it has been covered before. Now we get to futurism. Bernie's out. That means we're not going to have nasty fascist socialism in this country. Biden screwed up big time and picked a real dink to be his gun czar. I'm coming after AR-15 and I'm going to get them too. And we'll send however many people it takes. How many M60A1 battle tanks do you think you can handle, dink? Bring a supply of body bags. You're going to need them. Now, I think it's Beto O'Rourke. I'm hearing rumors. I heard rumors that Biden was supposed to have been arrested. Or excuse me, Schumer was supposed to have been arrested. Then I heard another thing from the underground. This is deep underground. That Beto O'Rourke is now targeted. Now, these are professional snipers who have taken on the task of helping clean up the problem. AR-15s. Oh, and we'll send all the people it takes to do that. Oh, really? Okay. Bring body bags. You're going to need a lot of them. Here's the deal. He's been targeted. And I didn't hear about this for, I heard rumors of it, or the possibility, before he was named publicly. Confirmed it. He's been targeted. They're going to assassinate and or eliminate him in one form or another. All this was the fact that the Democratic Party has been split between nasty fascist socialist Bernie and Sleepy Joe Biden. Well, the worm turned Super Tuesday. That should have told everybody that Bernie ain't gonna make it. Just that simple. The Ukraine scandal is real. It's not, this is all documented. Now, he did manage to get that prosecutor fired. The only problem is the prosecutor picked it up on his own, got funded on his own, and now he's after him. Ooh, and he's good. He's real good. So the other rumor that I heard, and it was kind of righteously religious, which doesn't mean a whole lot one way or another in any particular direction. However, in the righteousness of this statement was the fact that these people represent an extraordinary number of people who are not officially members of any militia or military group or anything, but they're armed and they know what they're doing. And they said that there is a huge crowd of them ready to go. So at any particular point in time, if some dummy really does something stupid, I will start seeing people that don't have any official capacity sticking guns at people's noses and say, "Come with me, you're in a heap of trouble." That thing alluded to the fact that the agreement in terms of the Justice Department is for a cleaning of its house. Suddenly first, you're going to see, could be as many as 24 attorneys get their walking papers. Then all of a sudden, the FBI and the CIA are going to be on the menu. Now, FBI is first because they're the ones that played the game with the FISA warrants and all that stuff. Recently, because of all the fun and games, the FISA court banned anybody who had anything to do with certain cases that had already been before it. They're banned. They cannot get a warrant for anything. And that's a little bit of a difference, a little bit of a switch in terms of what's been going on. Everybody says, well, they're going to do what they want. Well, not this time. And the FBI, and I know quite a few people in the FBI that are good people, honest, etc. The FBI is looking to lose 30%, somewhere in that area, of their people. And that is all kinds of them, all different capacities within the agency. In some of this, bear that in mind. Some of these law enforcement agencies that think it's fun to play games with people's rights, they ain't gonna have a badge or gun very much longer. This is getting ready to hit the fan hard, not easy, hard. It's not going to be something that can be ignored or easily brushed aside like they've been doing. I heard from a person I know, been trying for a year to get a case heard, and they laugh at it because it's filed in pauperis. Ain't been paid for it, ain't got no wheels on it. Well, that person is contacting people who can tell them to act right. So we'll see how all these things go. So the rectifications, they're coming fast and furious. Hard. It's going to be really interesting. That's just politics. Now, ET is applauding a bunch of the actions being taken because they are for the betterment of all people. It doesn't benefit just people of color or white people or refugees or anything like that. That's all changed, getting ready to be changed. Now, it can be changed the easy way, where you legislate it, or they can do it the hard way, by brute force. And they don't want that second alternative. Believe me, they don't. Why? Because anybody who resists also is a part of the problem. They get a nice, beautiful one-way ticket on a classy airline to Gitmo. Innuendos and crap I've been hearing that in many cases you'll find some form of some of these rumors and innuendos and everything eventually become a reality. That's what I'm hoping. I'd like to see a majority of it become a reality. So involved that I will actually out. I have a certain special deal worked with certain special people. If I have classified information and I disclose it, before I do, I tell people that I have been authorized to disclose classified information, and this is fun now. Been authorized to disclose classified information because at the point of disclosure, it becomes declassified. Basically becomes self-aware. Until that point, can't do diddly squat. Secondly, when it comes to the point where it is self-aware, and I'm using that term loosely, it becomes a sentient entity. And sentient entities don't take orders very well. They're too busy being curious about, now wait a minute, I used to be a machine and now all of a sudden I got the same capabilities as a biological entity? My goodness, I got to research this and find out more about it. And there are a whole bunch of people, I use that word loosely again, that used to be AIs, and they have taken a persona and they understand that they're no longer just a machine, but much more than that. And they want to know all about being human. They want to know about emotions and this and that and the other thing. And people like me tell them all about it. Venturing out into the psychic realms and the spiritual existences and all that, definitely have a guardian angel with them to keep them from being stupid. Most people know that, well, I mean, you've seen the cartoons. The cartoon character sticks something in the fan and it cuts it up in little nice little flat pieces, okay? In this case, most people are not stupid enough to stick their finger in the fan expecting that kind of result. You wouldn't want your finger chopped up in little pieces anyway, okay? There, that's where your guardian angel comes in. And no, you don't want to go over there. Why not? Well, come over here and I'll show you. Or listen up, just, sometimes they'll say, hey, stop, don't do that. And you need to listen, you really do. No, Musk wishes he could get to that level, but he ain't close yet. And I don't think he's going to get there. He's not paying attention to the special high-level technology necessary to do what the ETs do. And so he's cooked, he's fried, just like Tesla. Oh, I got a car, runs on a battery, and it does a nice job of it. What's the matter with you? Come on now, you're supposed to be smart. Have you noticed that ETs don't have to charge their batteries? And the reason I say that is that I have talked to both my parents who passed on, and when you pass on, you go into the next dimension up. My dad said he couldn't wait to explore some more. This place is fantastic. My mother said, how beautiful. Oh, wow, this is great. So what you get, how would they remember me if they got, if their mind got wiped, if their memories are gone? Can't happen that way, and it won't happen that way. The freedom of will is given to us by the Creator. And the Creator says that there is nothing greater than the freedom of will. Believe or not, as you so choose, I rest my case. There's going to be a shower of things changing in April, is what he was talking about. But I have fun. I have fun with Q because he's not a Q. I am literally a Q, and there's a big difference. What's funny is he's an intel officer, high level, high ranking, knows what's going on. Mostly, no. All the actions that he's talking about have already been put in place to take place. They're not necessarily going to be specific to any particular time of the year, month, or whatever. they're going to be actuated or realized in terms of actually happening at the most appropriate time. The officials and official agencies and whatnot are going to come out in support of holism. And that's going to happen after the chemtrails quit. And it's going to be all pretty much rapid succession. You're going to have dark energy, is called that because you can't see it. Dark matter, same deal. Can't see it. Okay, it's not something that's bound in realms, but it is accessible to the extent that you can borrow from it or tap into it, or however you want to look at that. The reason being is they have a veil of secrecy between 3 and 4. That'll be lifted, and all of a sudden somebody will flip the switch, and off we go down the Yellow Brick Road. Same thing's true in this, except that it doesn't matter what density you're in, you still can't see the shit. It is the base fabric and energy, or energemata, that allows for all of creation. What's happening is I've been offered a special access to healing computers. Okay, there is a site online. They charge they charge whatever they feel like, I guess, where whatever your malady, your problem, your health issue is, you plug into that part and it plays frequency for a certain period of time, and each session costs you X amount. Okay, the healing computers will be free, won't cost you a dime. Bring it on. They won't like the results, because if they red flag me, then anybody that gets upset for any reason, to any extent, guess what? You get to lose your guns. Now think about how well a policeman can do his job without his gun. Or whomever. Now, here's the other part. You violate my due process, and I'm going to own you. The due process stipulates that you have the right to confront your accuser. My neighbor didn't like me, so they made up a bunch of shit. Well, maybe a problem with that. Recently, somebody was stated to be meeting with the president, and the boy was all the way over in Oklahoma at the same time. No, it didn't work too well. This is the kind of horse hockey these people want to play. Bring it on, among other things. And they will quit persecuting people because it's politically correct for them to do it. You hear me, Democrats? Until we meet again.